Mikel Arteta is furious at fake news regarding him leaving Arsenal in favour of Barcelona at the end of the season. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, today's video is going to centre around Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta, and he is absolutely furious at the fake news that is coming out from Spain regarding him being linked with the Barcelona job at the end of the season. The new manager merry-go-round seems to be in full swing, and it seems to have really ignited in recent days thanks to a certain manager at Liverpool named Jurgen Klopp, who of course made that blockbuster announcement that he will be leaving Liverpool at the end of the season last Friday. A day or so later, Barcelona manager Xavi comes out and says that he's going to be leaving Barcelona at the end of the season after what has been a pretty underwhelming season considering where Barcelona were in the last campaign. Thomas Tuchel seems to be next on the list of managers to be leaving a big club in terms of his role at Bayern Munich, and it could be even more so if obviously Bayer Leverkusen managed to hold off the Bayern onslaught for the Bundesliga title. But what about Mikel Arteta? Well, in recent days, we have seen a number of news articles come out and claim that the Spanish manager could be on his way to Barcelona and be the successor to Xavi. However, he has come out in recent days and rubbished those reports. He's claimed that they are fake news, and he's angry at where those reports may have come from. We're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about maybe a new deal being on the horizon for Arteta at Arsenal going forward and everything else in between. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you all to get involved in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it in regards to this story, in regards to Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. Where do you stand on Mikel Arteta? Do you stand on him being in? Do you stand on him being out? All of that good stuff, I'm sure, will make for great and interesting reading down below in the comment section, so do get involved down there. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Mikel Arteta and his current time at Arsenal and the linking him with the soon-to-be vacant Barcelona job. So, Klopp leaves. He announces he's going to leave at the end of the season. Xavi, a day or so later, says that he's going to be leaving at the end of the season. And instantly, sources, mainly pro-Barcelona, are throwing it out there that Mikel Arteta will become the successor to Xavi. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've always heard sort of rumours and whispers of linking Mikel Arteta to the top Spanish clubs. He's obviously done very well at Arsenal. Only got one FA Cup to his name, admittedly. But the way that he's turned around the fortunes of Arsenal and got them competing again is something that has obviously laid the groundwork so far. And obviously, if he can get them across the finish line, even better. But for me personally, I believe he's really reached his ceiling there. I think he's laid the foundations beautifully for an upgraded manager on him to come in at Arsenal, sprinkle with a little bit of stardust here and there on that team, really modify it slightly into their own image, and then they can maybe get them across the finish line that way. I don't think Mikel Arteta is necessarily that guy that's going to take Arsenal across the finish line in terms of winning the Champions League, the Premier League, and so on and so forth. But there has always, to my mind at least, been that sort of link in the background lingering between him and a top Spanish club. And obviously there's a Spanish connection there, of course, him being a Spanish manager and everything. But as well as that, obviously this season there does seem to be a lot of pressure on Arteta to win something. And with them already being out of the Carabao Cup, out of the FA Cup, the Premier League is looking not impossible. They are still obviously in the title race, but it is looking more favourable towards the likes of your Liverpools and Manchester Cities as we speak. And the Champions League is always going to be difficult, but depending on the kind of draw they get, they might be able to go far in that competition. The pressure then is, can he win something? And obviously after coming so close to the Premier League last year, but falling short right at the end, there is obviously a massive question mark over whether or not he can win something, and whether or not he can win what he has the bottle enough to win the big trophies, to help win the big trophies. In my mind, this news is convenient in terms of the Spanish connection. It's convenient in terms of maybe he's taken Arsenal as far as he can. Convenient in terms of maybe Arsenal are facing another trophyless season this season. And just convenient again because obviously Xavi is leaving. Like, Xavi was probably going to be seen as one of the next managers to be... obviously he's very young, but he's probably one of the next managers to build something at Barcelona that lasts a very, very long time. But obviously that isn't going to happen this season. He seems to be confident in his decision that he will step down as Barcelona manager at the end of the season. Obviously things haven't gone as well for Barcelona this year as they did do last year, and so things are in need of a change to obviously keep the Barcelona wheels spinning. Arteta being linked, like I say, seems to be a matter of convenience, and that's kind of backed up by Arteta and what he said in recent interviews, in which he's basically gone on to state that he doesn't know where these stories have come from. Admittedly, to my mind, they do seem all pro-Barcelona sources, and that's, he described them as fake news. He described it all as fake news, and that he is committed to Arsenal. He's wanting to stay at Arsenal and he's willing to see the job out till the end. But to me, is there no smoke without fire here? That's what I want to question. That's what I want to ask you all. Is there no smoke without fire? Is there genuine... Is there genuine legs to this story, is what I'm trying to ask. He may come out and he may rubbish it because he wants to stay 100% committed right now to Arsenal. But are you not telling me he's not that little bit tempted? Don't get me wrong, Barcelona in recent years have obviously fallen off a massive cliff compared to where they were at about 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago. 100%. They fell off a massive cliff compared to where they once were. But are you still not telling me there's not that Barcelona pull? Are you still not telling me that, like, after, 4 years of being with Arsenal right now, with only one FA Cup to show for it, and you've got a very difficult task ahead of you to knock Manchester City off their perch in the Premier League, to overcome Liverpool as well, and then to obviously go on and try and win the Champions League for at least this season, that Arteta isn't the slightest bit got his head turned by a move back to Spain, to Barcelona, where he could turn around the fortunes of Barcelona. He could make them again a powerhouse again. You're telling me he's maybe not the slightest bit persuaded by that potential pull? Because let's face it, whether Barcelona are in the mud or not, they still have that pull. They still have the pull of being Barcelona, a club with a rich, lustrous history. A club with incredible pedigree. A club with a high level of European status within the game. You're telling me he's not the slightest bit persuaded by that? And I want to know what Arsenal fans think as well on this, because I know the Arsenal fans are somewhat divided on Mikel Arteta. Some think he's still the right man for the job. Some think that he should go and that he's taken them as far as what he can do. And like I said, I'll go back to my earlier point on this. I think Arteta's done brilliantly at Arsenal to get them to where they are right now and to get them to competing. But I think he had a ceiling. I always thought he had a ceiling, and I didn't think that ceiling raised beyond winning major trophies. And I think I'm being proven right now. I don't think Arteta's the guy to win you major trophies. I thought he would be the guy to get you to a solid and consistent top 4 finish, and I felt like the guy would be there to maybe challenge or maybe even win some of the domestic trophies that are available. But as far as winning Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues are concerned, I didn't think he would be that guy in this division, in this league, with this current Arsenal team. And especially with how stubborn Arsenal seem to be in, you know, really going for it. Let's face it, this transfer window has been absolutely dull, to say the least. And I know that a lot of teams are probably worrying about FFP, considering the Premier League's new harsh stance on it, given the way that they've treated Everton and Nottingham Forest and everything. But when the Premier League title was there for the taking, Arsenal sat back. And I know there are a couple of days left of the transfer window, and obviously stranger things have happened, but it's highly unlikely they're going to make a move when they really should. They are a striker away, in my opinion, from tilting the scales more in their favour of winning the Premier League or even the Champions League for this season. Jesus and Nketiah, to me, are not the guys you want going into a title race with as your strikers. He is stubborn in certain aspects, but like I say, I am intrigued by the story. Is there any smoke without fire in this? There's no doubt he's talented. There's no doubt he's managed to change Arsenal's fortunes from being floundering around in the Europa League spots, even a little bit below that, to obviously going to be in the top four, to them being in title races. So there is talent there. There is something with this manager there. But I'm just wondering if, for Arsenal's sake, he's taken him as far as what he can go. I'm wondering on the Barcelona front if they have other options available. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp's name was mentioned. Highly doubt that's going to be possible. I think he genuinely is going to take a massive break from football, whether it be a year or two. I think he'll just take a break from it. Thomas Tuchel's name has been mentioned as well. Don't exactly know how Barcelona fans are feeling about that one in particular. But for me, Arteta, I don't know if there is any genuine legitimacy behind that. And there is also talk about Arteta maybe getting a new contract. So maybe he is 100% committed. And maybe this is just pro-Barcelona propaganda, I guess you could say, towards Mikel Arteta. Maybe it is all just pro-Barcelona stories being thrown out there to try and disrupt the Spanish manager, try and disrupt Arsenal, and so on and so forth. Maybe that could be the case. It is obviously very interesting to watch unfold. We obviously wait to see what happens with Mikel Arteta going forward and what obviously happens with Barcelona as well. It's going to be very interesting to obviously work all that out. But he's described it as fake news, and we've got to take it as his word right now. Obviously, if things were to happen later on, we could always revisit this and just see where we go from here. But there is talk that he will re-sign with Arsenal. There's talk that Arsenal are going to open negotiations with him and sign a new deal. He's, of course, got over a year left on his current deal. His current deal does run out in 2025. So that's also another thing, another element of this story to keep your eye on. The way that, obviously, the clock is ticking down a little bit on his contract there. But I've personally said it all season that if Arsenal don't win anything major this campaign, I think you've got to look at moving him on. Like I said, I think he's built the foundations beautifully for a better manager to come in and just tweak it and modify it a little bit in order to get them across that finish line that they so desperately want to cross. I just don't necessarily think it's going to be him that does it. And I feel like if Arsenal don't win anything this season, they've got to go. Then he's got to go. A lot of Arsenal fans seem to agree with that. Some Arsenal fans seem to think we need to give him another season on top of this already season. I want to know what you guys think, because this one is a very tricky and very divided sort of topic to talk about, considering how everybody has seemingly got a different opinion on this. And I'm very interested to get yours as well. But obviously the main bulk of this story here is that Mikel Arteta has described links to Barcelona as being fake news for him, and that the possibility of re-signing with Arsenal and extending his stay beyond 2025 is a real possibility, according to certain news outlets. But I want to know what you guys think. These are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of these of this news story linking Mikel Arteta with a move to Barcelona at the end of the season? Is there any smoke without fire here, or do you agree with Mikel Arteta and claim that these stories are all fake news? I would love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it in regards to this story. Down below in the comment section. I'm sure it'll make for interesting and great reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I'll see you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you all again. And talk to you all again very, very soon.